Hello everyone and welcome on De Papier de Rêve channel. I'm Ursula and today I will be painting with you a waterfall. For the first time this year I'm doing the World Watercolor Month Challenge where you have to paint one watercolor painting per day with a prompt, and this year prompt is from Angela Fair, which I really like her work. So it's really interesting to just have one word to paint a painting with. And a word catch my eyes especially. It was the word fall. It could be understood as the season, the fall season, but I pretty much prefer to understand it as waterfall, just because for me it was more fun to paint a waterfall right now as we are in summer and it's pretty hot outside. So during this challenge I paint a tiny picture of a waterfall, and I decided to paint a rather bigger one for my painting this week, just because I enjoy so much paint this little waterfall, and I think it's quite interesting as a subject for you because there is plenty of texture in here and it's quite interesting to paint, and there is a lot of color you can play with, so that's my take on it this week. So for the first layer I've started to create a turquoise color with the color I have on my palette, and I achieve to get a turquoise color just by mixing manganese blue, Amazonite genuine and the tiniest bit of nickel azo yellow. I wasn't sure it was possible to have a really nice turquoise with the color in my palette. I thought that you have to get a turquoise to paint turquoise because it's quite a difficult color to get. It's not very natural one. But I'm really happy that I was able to get it, and I think it's quite interesting the mix I get, because I can make it a little bit greener or a little bit more bluer depending on the mix, and I think it's a really nice transparent version of turquoise. And I've paired this turquoise with indent blue to get a much deeper blue, which add a lot of depth in the water, so I'm quite happy with it. And for all the works in this painting, I'm playing with bloodstone genuine and also acrylic ink in sepia and granulating medium, because I want a really rich texture in this area with a lot of granulation, because it is wax after all. So it was the perfect theme to play a little bit more with granulation medium. And as you can see, my sepia ink is a little bit too warm for this painting, so I add on top of it a little bit of indent blue in order to make it a little bit more grayish, and it's working pretty well, and I think I have a nice neutral color for all the works on this painting. And once I'm pretty happy with all the texture and all the color in this first layer, I will let it dry thoroughly before adding another one. And right now I will talk you through my supplies for this painting. For the brushes, I'm using an Escoda Último number 18 and an Escoda Último number 8 Rigger, and a dagger brush, silver brush, black velvet, 1/4 inch. And for the colors, I'm using indent blue, manganese blue, Amazonite genuine, nickel azo yellow, and bloodstone genuine. And of course I'm using an acrylic ink in sepia from Golden, a tiny bit of opaque white, and some granulating medium. And my paper today is from Arches in hot pressed. it can appear a bit strange to use a hot press paper, so a very smooth paper, to make a lot of texture, but I think it's quite nice to use sometimes this smooth paper for texture, because the texture is not sinking in all the little ridges of a rough paper. It stays right on top of the surface, and this way I can have all this river of pigment with a granulating medium that is quite interesting. And also, with a smooth paper, I can have some area of my painting where the colors are really smooth, and that's the case in all the water area, almost. There is a little bit of granulation because of the Amazonite genuine color, but most of it is really smooth, and the rock area are really texture, thanks to the granulating medium, the color Amazonite, bloodstone genuine, and the acrylic ink. There is a lot of texture in it, and I can have this contrast between smooth colors and very textured colors thanks to this hot press paper. So in this second layer, I'm trying to add a little bit of interest in the water. I'm adding a little bit of idea of waves in the water, and of course I'm following the color from my first layer. Where there is turquoise, I will put turquoise on top of it, and where is indent blue, I will put, of course, indent blue on top of it. And I'm doing the same for all the rocks. I'm trying to add more texture. I'm trying to add some shadow in this area, still with the color Bloodstone Genuine, which is really interesting because it adds even more granulation in this area. And I can have quite a dark color, enough to get an idea of shadows. And for the last touches on this painting, I'm adding some white in some area in order to mimic the flowing water. I'm trying to make some droplets and some area a little bit more bolder with white. Of course, I try to keep some area white in my first layer. I wasn't painting all my paper with colors. And I can use all the white spot in my painting as a plan for all the water foam, the white stuff when the water flows, in order to make it a little bit more natural and give an idea of water moving in this waterfall. And I didn't wait between my last layer of colors and this gouache painting, just because I wanted my gouache to be able to merge and to bleed in some colors area that are still wet, so that everything is a little bit more natural and not as stiff as it could be. Adding white gouache on top of watercolor is quite relaxing, especially with this kind of abstract painting, just because I don't have to think too much about the placement of the white foam. I can just relax and paint tiny water droplets everywhere I want it. And it's quite nice to have the opportunity to have some relaxing paint sometimes. Overall, it was a really nice painting to paint, just because it's a really quick one. I think without counting the drying time, it only took me 20 minutes to paint. I was able to play with colors and create a nice turquoise. I was able to make a lot of texture also on my painting, and then have a relaxing time by placing tiny droplets of gouache. So it's quite a nice painting, and I hope you will try to paint this, because it's a waterfall. It's very fresh, and in this hot summer, that's the right thing I need, I think. And if you want to see what I'm painting every day with this World Watercolor Month challenge, I engage you to follow me on Instagram, where I put all the painting I paint this month on it, and I hope you'll enjoy them. And this video is now ending. Thanks for watching and I hope you like it. Please check the blog post for more information about this painting and tell me what you think in the comments. See you soon.